I bounced around, did several different things, but along the way wound up in the information security arena. But it was primarily the offensive arena, and used that skill set for over a decade to eventually become a cyber defender. And understanding attacker mindset and techniques, I think, made me a better defender. And so after about 24 years in the military, I retired over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe. It goes quick.
That is.
Worked in Wall Street for a while, working with the U.S. government on how do we defend our critical infrastructure from a catastrophic attack. And that was absolutely a thrilling time. Deep policy, very strategic thinking, and eventually moved in to be CISO of a financial services firm. And I just retired about 5 months ago after being CISO of a very large healthcare firm, and absolutely loved it. So when you really wrap that up, it's a combination of offensive cyber, defensive cyber. But I think the really important part is through all of that, anything from small to very large team leadership. Yeah. That was developed over years. And when you put it together, I think that's my background.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an amazing background. And you also flew planes.
A long time ago, yes.
Yeah. So what did you fly?
Well, I started out in Cessnas and moved up to high performance, and then flew aerobatics for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then in the Air Force, I was parked at a fighter training squadron and got to fly a lot of fighters and in the backseat. But it was still logged time and learned a lot. And it's interesting that also defines part of how I work as a CISO. When you look at flying a plane, a lot of it is risk management. The mechanics of takeoff, go to your going, and land is not as hard as you'd think. Most of what you're doing is, well, what happens if something goes wrong? What could go wrong? Yeah. And you have a lot of instruments that are basically risk indicators to tell you maybe something's not going the way you'd expect. And then you think about, what do I do now? How do I mitigate that risk? And that is almost how you work as a CISO. And what I see is artificial intelligence now brings unique risks, but the framework or the structure to govern those risks, there's a lot of parallels. And so when I'm thinking about the role of the CISO and the role of AI governance, I think there's a lot of parallels that can be made.